Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. Just want you to know what a joy it is just simply to be with you here this morning. Nothing nicer than to simply gathering in the Spirit and to know the oneness and the love that connects all of us. This is the blessed gift of life. Heaven is like this, what we're experiencing right now, being in oneness and being in love. Couple of things just before we begin today. First of all, our Monday meditation, Monday evening from 7 to 8 o'clock on spiritual healing. Very wonderful service. I invite you to join us. And then especially tonight, we'll be having our topical conversation on duality. It'll be very provocative, very interesting. It's from 6 to 7:30 p.m. I certainly invite you to join us tonight. But especially right now, I want to warmly invite you to our daily acts of kindness, our 30 days of caring for others. I'm going to give you a little quote that I think is very important, just one that kind of came to me actually during the night. Daily acts of kindness are the pathway to eternal love. Daily acts of kindness are the pathway to eternal love. That's what we strive for, to be the eternal love that the divine truly is. God is love, so are we. With that, let me now welcome you to our Sunday teaching. My dear friends, it continues to be a very beautiful ongoing experience to grow with you in awareness. Recently, I've been working with some wonderful souls who are making some changes in their life situations. My encouragement to them was to embrace their futures. As I thought about my advice to them, I felt that, well, the very same advice was what I needed at the present moment. I needed to embrace my future. I realized that not only did I need to, but I wanted to look at my future and to truly embrace it. And this is a message I would like to share with you in today's teaching entitled A First Class Human Experience. Let's begin. I will begin with the distinction about the future and then proceed to charting and cooperating with your future, embracing it fully, providing not just for yourself, but for others and maybe someone else even, a wonderful first-class human experience. Let's begin first of all with the distinction. You'll notice that I did not say embracing the future, but rather embracing your future. Only you know you, and only you can embrace your future. I encourage you to have this understanding of yourself, being in charge of yourself, so that you are comfortable in embracing your future, not someone else's. I encourage you to disregard what others might think of your future. So many times we are so vulnerable still to the opinions of others. It's kind of like we need to check in with them before we make up our own minds, and sometimes simply follow their minds. You don't need permission from anyone for your future. It is your future. May each one of us take the responsibility of stepping up and moving forward as each one of us sees fit. Truly, truly embracing your future. Let's now proceed to charting your future and then cooperating with it. When we talk about charting your future, perhaps you have a very good question, namely, how do I go about charting my future? It's a good question. May I suggest the following? In charting your future, worldly wisdom suggests that there are 5 major areas to consider, each one having a priority based on one's present life situation. The 5 areas are, first of all, personal health, taking good care of your physical body. Secondly, relationships, which constitute many of our daily manifestations with spouses, children, friends, co-workers. Finances, number 3. You need money to live, and most people would like to live comfortably with a little extra. Work, one's profession, or if you're retired, where you spend most of your time. And then lastly, what I call spiritual values, namely how you view the meaning of your life and how these values will play a role in the unfolding of your life. Now, worldly wisdom would say that it is important to establish goals in each of these 5 areas and to embrace your future from these goals. While this worldly wisdom is quite helpful to many, I feel that we need to add another element. Plato was really good at this when he said that the best way to have harmony in your life, and isn't that what everyone wants? Harmony in our lives. If you want to have harmony in your life, you must have a hierarchy of values. It is hierarchy that produces values. It's the hierarchy of life that truly will give you the right order, the right priority. Of all the things that I've learned from Plato, and I've learned plenty, the notion that hierarchy produces harmony is the most important. Let me explain. The 4 values of worldly wisdom, namely health, relationships, money, and profession, are all susceptible to change. They are all subject to the forces of duality. Thus, if you put all of your eggs into the basket of duality, you will often end up disappointed, whether it's in your health or relationships, your money, or your work. The eggs break in the basket of duality eventually. Jesus called this building the foundation of your home on sand. And when the winds of change came to blow, one clearly recognized that, well, something has gone wrong. What one has hoped for, or maybe even prepared for, is often lost when illness occurs, when the relationship is broken through divorce or death, where money becomes tight and life just doesn't feel so good. The problem goes back to Plato and Jesus. For Plato, the hierarchy was distorted. For Jesus, the house was not built on the rock, the proper foundation. Thus it becomes clear, especially for us who are spiritually inclined, to build our futures on the hierarchy of spiritual values and on the rock of changeless spiritual principles to eliminate the inevitable susceptibility of having a shaky foundation. This doesn't mean that planning in health, relationships, money, and certainly work is unimportant, but it does mean that there is a spiritual base for you to embrace your future, and that is of primary importance. Let me just say it again. The most important thing to embrace your future is to have a solid spiritual base. Now, I am not here to tell you what principles and values you are to embrace, but I will suggest following two spiritual guidelines that will be helpful to you as you chart your future. The first one is best presented in the form of a question. It's a good question. What are you doing here on Earth? What are you doing here on the planet? Well, there are many generic answers to this question, not the least of which is, well, to bring heaven to earth. There are two answers that I see emerging in all of you. The first one is that you are now consciously, you are now consciously accepting your role as being a conscious co-creator. Now, here's the most important point, that you are being a conscious co-creator in your present life situation from your spiritual center. I'll say it again. You are becoming a conscious co-creator in your present life situation from your spiritual center. You are not waiting for your life circumstances to change, but rather you are bringing the change into your life circumstances by consciously intuiting what your life situation is asking from you from your spiritual values. Your ability to concretely affect your life situations from your spiritual center is truly, truly a wonder to behold. You realize that you are meant to be precisely where you are and in that place right now where you are consciously responding from the intuitive guidance of your soul. My hat is off to you. You are showing up as you in your life. Bravo, bravo. You're showing up as you in your life. The second answer includes the first answer of consciously creating your life, but it does go a little deeper. I'm especially happy to say that I have heard so many of you say words that I too say quite often to myself. The words are these: I just want to love everyone. How many times have we said that? I just want to love everyone. Loving is my MO. I just want to love everyone. These beautiful words have an obvious, but also a deeper meaning. First, the obvious one. The obvious one is that you want to simply love everyone, as presented in these beautiful words. Whatever arises, love that. And I think you're doing precisely that. Whatever is arising, you are loving that. Whatever circumstances come, you are loving them. Whoever is involved, you are loving them. But there is a deeper meaning, which is indicative of even a greater change in you. And I think it's this. Not only are you loving everyone and everything, but also, even, you're loving those people in those situations which were difficult for you to love in the past. There are certain people and situations that were difficult to love. You know that. Your ability, however, now to love everyone and everything is occurring because you have released an awful lot of your past blockages, two of which are pride and the temptation to control. You now not only live and let live, now you only love and let love. You let love take over the direction of your life. Love is how you are going forward. Wow. Love is how you are going forward. One last thing. In your loving, you know what is appropriate. You know what is always the most appropriate thing to do in each situation to make it a first-class human experience. You are intuitively guided from your center to do the appropriate thing, what love is calling for you to do here and now, for that first-class human experience. Double wow. Double wow. There is a second spiritual guideline that I would like to suggest, namely that you must be willing to cooperate with your future. You can't just say, well, that'd be nice when I chart my future. It'd be nice to be more loving, and then I'll revert back to the old patterns of pride and control. So may I suggest these three things that will assist you to cooperate with your future. The first of the three is the most important, and it is the basis for the other two. The first one is that when you decide to consciously co-create, when you decide to love whatever arises, you find out that that cooperation and that love works every time, in every situation. And then you become smart enough to ask yourself the question, well, if this way of acting works every time, if it works every time in easy situations and in tough situations, if it works every time to make me feel better and to bring resolution to life's situations, if it works every time, why wouldn't I do it every time? In a nutshell, I believe you are convincing yourself of your own wisdom. You're convincing yourself of your own wisdom. You know that conscious co-creation in loving whatever arises are your truths in going forward, in cooperating with your future. Conscious co-creation in loving whatever arises. These are your direction. Secondly, as a result of the first, you are beginning to realize that you are now able to count on yourself. You are no longer dependent. No longer are you reliant on others. Not that you don't appreciate them. You're just not reliant on them because you have elevated to a greater confidence within yourself. When you realize what your conscious creativity and love are doing for you here and now, you are now able to develop a foundation in your life that was often missing in the past when you were still uncertain. You now have a self-barometer of your life. You're listening to yourself. I am listening to my intuitive guidance. I am loving in this situation. You now realize how your truth has become the foundation of your life. Wow. Wow. You realize the importance of what you have accomplished with your truth, which now leads me then to that third notion. The third truth is truly the confidence you now have in moving into your future. It is a clear and conscious confidence that you can now address not only your challenges, but especially how you will bring forth your inner guidance, how you will bring forth your soul contract in bringing your part of heaven to earth. It's not just about solving problems. It's about bringing forth that power and goodness within you to be co-creating in that loving energy. I believe that you know what you're doing. You have built the future direction of your soul's journey, not in each detail, but in the way you will now go forward based on your spiritual values. I'll just say it again. It's not the details of the future that you can look for and see, oh, this, oh, that, but rather it's the values. It's the foundational values that you now have as the base for going forward. You are now freely loving. Ah, freely loving. What an enormous sense of life you are now experiencing. Well done. Bravo. Freely loving. Well done. And oh, yes, there's much more joy to come. In conclusion, you might be asking yourself, well, again, to whom am I giving this first-class human experience? Certainly to yourself, that's obvious. Certainly to others, that's obvious. Anyone else? Of course. To the divine as well. We are the experiencers of the divine. Ultimately, we are providing a first-class human experience to the God Spirit, to the divine, to our source. What fun! What fun to know that the divine is with us, for us, and as us in this first-class human experience. Thou as me as thee. We are one, thou in me. Forever, together, first class. Let me now take you into meditation, and what a joy it is to do so. Let us begin today as we normally do by just focusing on the breath. If you can calm down for a moment, not be too excited, and just allow the breath maybe just to settle you just a tad more. Relaxing your body, reducing your mind chatter, and bringing that inner you, that beautiful you, to the fore. Please begin. And you might very easily say right now, here I am, here I am, here I am. And would you just focus that presence within yourself on the inner you right behind your sternum? Here I am. I'm going to ask you to acknowledge two very important qualities of your soul, of the inner you. Would you first of all acknowledge that the you that is, your soul self, is totally free? Get out of your head. Stop thinking of what binds you. You are totally free. And would you just say to yourself, I'm in charge of me. I'm in charge. And I realize that I am consciously, freely in charge of creating my future. This is not a mystery. In the inner you, in your soul's awareness, you're absolutely free. In your freedom, you have chosen a second quality. In your freedom, you've chosen a second quality. You have chosen to be absolutely loving. Is your health important? Certainly. Relationships, of course. Money, a necessity. Work, where you spend your time, of course. But what joins them all together the spiritual hierarchy is love. You have decided to be loving, have you not? And does not this loving engender the very best in you? Is this not true? That when you are loving, consciously loving, this is your best. You have to be willing to say this to yourself. When I am loving, I am at my best. And always remember that loving does not mean being a doormat, nor being Pollyannish. That loving is intelligent. Your love is guided from your spiritual center. You are exhibiting an intelligent love that does what is appropriate in each situation. Are you not? An intelligent love that enables you to read each situation and then respond from your loving center. Now, what I ask you to do, and I'll give you a few moments to do this, either in your own mind or on a piece of paper, it might be near you. Would you chart for yourself a saying on how you want to move into your future? In a few words, one statement, chart your future. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Now, right beneath what you have written down, would you write this simple statement? I will cooperate with what I have charted. I will cooperate with what I have charted. It's really all about a first-class human experience, whether it's for yourself or someone else or for the divine. It's kind of like we're all part of this oneness. Thou as me as thee, we are one, thou and me, forever together. First class, wherever we might be.
Deep within, peace resides, faith abounds, and love abides. The light shines bright to illumine love without, love within. I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor
Oh, you can't help but smile, huh? May you cooperate with what you have just charted. After all, it's your life. It's your future. Embrace it from the best place within you. Namaste, dear ones. Namaste.
Namaste, Vince.